Welcome back, everybody. Unversed podcast. We are here. We're here to talk about a manhwa called Stalking. This won the grand prize for the second annual Lezen Comics World Comic Contest. It's currently number 14 on their ranking chart. If you remember the Lezen, they were the people we interviewed for the AX episode. And they have an interesting way to support artists with their manhwas on the app. By purchasing issues when they come out on a weekly basis. And, we got the chance to review it. And, I did not read it though. Here we have a guest, Arianna.
It's not up to our taste.
Yeah, he said like, yeah, do you want to read it? And we're like, sure. And it's like, well, it's a boy love manhwa, as most manhwas are.
See, no, I'm gonna stop you. No. See, I'm gonna stop you right there. Personally, I would not put this under boys love.
Okay.
It ain't BL?
It ain't a part of that BL life. I mean, it has its moments, but I wouldn't put it under that. Personally.
Okay. So we only got to, I believe, 20 or so chapters. All of season 1 is what I unlocked, and then there was a little bit of season 2 in there. And, so you read it.
I did
Arianna.
read it.
So what were your initial thoughts coming into this, looking at the title and whatnot?
What in the hell am I reading? What did I sign up for? What is this? No, okay, like, it's, the first thing that caught me, honestly, with this is the artwork. It is so gorgeous, and it fits the story so well because it's a pretty dark story. I mean, with the name Stalking, you would think I misinterpreted and thought it was stalking, like stockings, you know?
Yeah. I mean, manhwas, they have really good art. And, you know, me and Miguel, we've talked about it, before. I forget the name of that manhwa now, Miguel.
Which one?
Remember the one that I shared that has a different translation on the app?
Yes.
I forget the name of it.
Oh, their official translation?
The one we knew.
Yeah, but their official translation name, right?
Yeah, they have a different name for it.
Let's use their real name. Let's use the name because they're the ones that we got the review code from. So
yeah,
it's for he does a body good.
He does a body good. That's pretty.
The
good.
art looks very good for that. I'm very interested in reading it.
Yeah,
My first time.
Yep.
Going in blind on that one.
Oh.
But yeah, Koreans have really good art. I mean, you know, Wake Up Dead Man. And, Tower of God it kind of gets there.
Tower of God gets better.
It gets better, yeah. But yeah, the thing about manhwas is they're also all in color. Was it this in color?
Yeah, this is
and
all
they're
in color,
done
which
lengthwise.
is really nice. Yeah,
So this is like
fun.
this is like a webtoon comic, like just straight panels going straight down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, what'd you think of the story? What is the story about?
So, you have this kid, and they first initially, like, kind of trap you, and you're like, oh, it's a chick who has a crush on a guy.
Okay.
And they start off by saying, oh, I've been admiring him from afar, the only problem is, I'm a dude. And you're like, oh, okay, let's see where this goes. Mm-hmm. And in your first prologue, he's trying to break into this guy's house. Like, he has put powder or rice or some kind of, or rice powder, rice flour, whatever, on, like, the little keypad to see where the guy had put his fingers. And he had just been doing so many codes, and it's just like, man, this kid's crazy. You can already just tell. And, yeah. I totally forgot your question. I'm sorry.
So I haven't read it. What'd you think about it?
It's dark and gritty, and the artwork, again, fits that very, very well. Like, when you look at the artwork, generally, I feel like that speaks for how the tone of the story is going to be. Mm-hmm. A lot of muted, dark colors, and
just all the good stuff.
All the good stuff, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Now, as far as the writing goes, did you feel like this was a strong writing for what they were trying to do?
Oh, absolutely. It sucks you in. Like, it's really good. You do want to know what's going to happen to the character throughout the entire thing. And their relationship that they have is fascinating, I guess is the nicest way I can put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Because I was kind of interested in this. I was like, maybe I should read it. I was like,
You should read it because again, like I said, it's not really like a boy's love. I wouldn't classify that. I would put it more so under like a suspense mystery myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's more of just like the reason it's tagged like that is because it's just hints of it?
No,
it's not a...
No, it's not hints. It's like it does have strong moments of it, but if you can get past that, like the story itself, you're like, holy shit.
Okay. So it's not a main factor into this plot?
You can tell they had the fan service for it, just for a little bit, but
yeah.
I don't think the artist intended for it to be like, oh my god, these two should be in a relationship, because they're... The main character, like I said, his name is Yoonbun. Yoonbun? I am so sorry for my mispronunciations.
The Korean pronunciations are a little rough, yeah.
I'm gonna call him Bum.
Bum bum.
Bum Bum. And I'm really bad with the guy who he's stalking. His name. Give me like 10 seconds right now so I can tell that.
So are you saying this is like almost like a yandere kind of thing going on?
Pretty...
Is it like Mirai Nikki?
No, it would be kind of like Mirai Nikki if the dude was the one who was the psycho.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're both toxic, no matter how I look at it, like, in their own weird ways, and then it, like, turns into this weird Stockholm Syndrome thing. Like, as is, the dude already has warped feelings for this guy,
Right.
but then am I allowed to give spoilers?
Yeah, so this review will have spoilers from this point forward. Before we get into that, would you recommend this to anybody interested in the art and title and etc.?
Yes, I would recommend this for people, but I would also say don't just go into it thinking it's just your typical boys love thing, because it's not. Mm-hmm. And most of the stuff in this relationship-wise should not be what you should consider a foundation for any kind of relationship. Like, this is a very big warning, because, again, their relationship is completely toxic.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that is the main thing, is that Lezen, the app itself, there's a lot of boy love manhwas in there, and I think that it could be a staple in a sense. Like, if you want it popular, you're gonna have to have that tag in your manhwa.
Appeal to the Fujoshis.
You know, like I was listening to the Weebcast, right? There's a new one. They're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And how like the main intention was not card games, but because kids love the card games, Shonen Jump was like, yeah, don't make it a card game manga. Or something like that.
Yeah, it was Yugi King of Games, and they played everything.
Yeah.
Played fiddly sticks.
So they essentially changed a big piece of that manga. So, that's kind of similar here, I'm guessing, right?
That's why I was saying, like, yeah, they do kind of tease at the fan service a bit, but it's just, I think, just to allow people to be like, oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god, boy relationships, but it's definitely not a healthy relationship, like, in the slightest, so.
Alright, so there you have it for the spoiler-free stuff. We're gonna get to some spoilers now, and if you don't want to be spoiled, you can always come back in this episode after you've read it, and hear our thoughts. So, alright, spoilers. What were you gonna talk about?
Alright, so, as he's going in to sneak into this dude's house, first thing you see is a cops, which is gonna be, I guess, I wouldn't say he's our protagonist or antagonist. He's just...
A main character?
He is a main character.
Okay.
And he's introduced, and I can't remember his name because I'm terrible at names. I'm sorry about that ahead of time.
I read a lot, so I don't remember a lot of names as well. So
so I'm just gonna call him Cop Dude.
Cop Dude, yeah.
Cop Dude.
Infernal Cop?
Love Infernal Cop.
But no, and honestly, I think he's probably one of my favorite characters, and I kind of want to see more of him and know what his story is about. But that aside, cops pull up and they're like, oh, you're not... The other main character is Sang-woo.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not him. And Bum is sitting there like, oh, I'm just a relative of him. I came here to visit. So he's, trying to get into the gate code thing.
Yeah.
And he manages to get in on his last try. And he goes into the house and he's like, holy shit, I made it in. And the cops are kind of just like, oh, okay. That happened. And after that, Sang-woo ends up getting a call. And his true self gets shown because Bum ends up going downstairs. He finds a naked chip tied up. And this is where the killing...
The killing happens.
This is where the killing gets started. This is where... shit gets real.
Okay.
So.
See, this sounds like this could be a movie. Is the vibes I'm getting at?
Oh,
like,
I would see this, but I can see a lot of stuff that they would have to cut out.
Oh yeah, clearly there's always
like a lot,
like super graphic stuff. I get, but no, yeah, this feels like you're one of your typical like suspense horror type of films.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the BL.
It's just a young Darius story with two guys basically. It's not
Kinda,
like
yeah.
it's not like it's BL. It's just like the other guy's just a stalker kind of guy, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, like, Bum, he realizes, like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, I need to get out of here. But again, like, that little bit of him that still likes this guy, he's just like, oh no, he's actually taking care of me. And, like, and then the Stockholm Syndrome kicks in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, shit. Like, I like this guy, I like him a lot, maybe I don't need to leave if I make him happy. Until he, like, gets, like, little moments where he's like, oh, I can leave. I can escape. And then he's frantic, and, like, you can see the panic, and you're just like, shit, is he actually gonna try and escape? Is he gonna make it? Is this guy gonna let him? So, it's crazy.
For those that don't know, Stockholm Syndrome is when a captive?
Yeah.
Captive gains an attachment to their captors. Captive? Captors? Yeah.
Captive?
Yeah, captives would be the thing.
So your captors?
Yeah. And most of this is just in the prologue. Like...
With that in mind, does that continue further down the line of this plot? Is it just really him just finding people and just killing them? Or is there more an expanse to this story?
So far, it's just him, like, killing... At most, there's only been, aside from the first girl that they find with Bum, like, 2 other people. So in total, 3 kills. And, spoiler alert, Sang-woo kills his parents, but that's revealed a little bit later into the manhwa.
Manhwa, yeah.
So, not really counting them in their current, like, timeline, 3 people end up being killed.
Okay. So what were your favorite parts of what you've read, all of season 1? So speaking of that, so season 1, right, is what it's titled, because manhwas usually have seasons, and then eventually it will usually take a break and then come back as a season 2, essentially a second arc. Let me see. So at chapter 19 is the finale for season 1. And then there's an epilogue, and then some of these special stuffs that's in the app, and then it continues I think this is season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So was there really a defining, like, big plot devices in the season finale for 1 that you noticed, or if you remember?
Yeah, the fact that he actually Sang-woo took Bum outside, like, physically outside, and that's one of those moments where he was like, I could try and leave if I really wanted to. But he had that mental block for, oh shit, if I try to leave, this guy's gonna kill me. Like, he couldn't bring himself to move.
Ah, yes, the Jessica Jones stuff from season 1. Flashbacks. Right, Miguel?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Okay, so that really changes up his character then, from that point forward after?
Well, no, I wouldn't say it changes up his character so much as it shows, like, how much control this guy has over Bum. Like, you would think you don't realize how much control he has until, like, those little moments where he has, like, the ability to escape. He's in, like, crowds of people, and at one point he does freak out in a crowd and he tries to escape until there's this moment where Sang-woo ends up on stage. They're doing this weird little, like the cultural festival things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and he's singing with some chick. And he sees him on stage, and he's like, I can't escape, but I love this guy. Like, he was just ogling over him.
Awing?
Yeah. That's a better word for it. While he was on stage.
So you'd say it's a very psychological...
Oh, definitely
enticing,
psychological mind games, like... That's why I don't consider it a typical BL, because normally those tend to be more romantic, and it's like... this is not a healthy relationship, which trips me out. I guess when some of the fan base, they're like, oh yeah, they belong together, and you hope for the best for them. It's like, no, I don't. I hope this kid escapes this guy.
This is interesting because comparing it to Aku no Hana, it's kind of the same situation here. Where in there, it's literally the same thing. It's that he's just a normal guy when this starts out, and then he gets dragged in by this crazy chick, and his whole world just de-escalates. And oh man, you remember? I don't know if you read it, Miguel, but there's a certain part that's really
all of
key.
Aku no Hana.
So yeah, you know the festival.
Yeah,
part.
I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's the scene where I was like, this is where everything goes bad.
Yeah. So yeah, in here it sounds very similar to that. And even then, like, you could say Aku no Hana has a romance tag, but that's not the main point.
It is not the main focus.
So,
so don't focus on that. If you're going into that, that's just my main thing. Don't focus on that. Think of it more as a psychological thriller. Like,
yeah, like
keep that in your head more so than anything.
Like, I wouldn't even say that Aku no Hana is a psychological thriller. It's more of a drama.
It's a psychological drama, yeah.
Psychological drama, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Poon Poon. Like Poon Poon is like a hardcore psychological drama.
I love Poon Poon. I know you're cringe. I love Poon Poon. Man. It gets in your head.
Yeah, but see,
Poon Poon is like the David Lynch of mangas.
Yeah, but see that last arc for Poon Poon, I'm just like, I hate this guy now.
That's just your personal taste, man.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I love it.
But anyways, back to manhwa.
We're paid to talk. We're not paid to talk about this.
Well,
not sponsored, but
technically,
this is a sponsor.
Oh, I don't know then.
But anyways, yeah. So having caught up to where we were able to review, would you keep going with this?
Oh, absolutely. I want to know if they end up getting caught. I want to know if he ends up snapping out of whatever weird mind shit's going on with him. And I know I said the cop was one of my favorite characters.
Right.
But I want to know if he ends up, because he's kind of catching on, like, as when he first met Senwoo, or saying a name wrong again, he had that face of, like, something ain't right with this kid.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of...
So he's your standard just cop character, right? Like he's...
As far as I know, there hasn't
Well, like
been...
in Death Note, you know, how like the cops, like their presence in there is, you know, they're just secondary characters. But they still are involved into the plot a lot. It's kind of like that? Kind
of like that. More like Light's dad, I guess.
Okay.
Light's
dad, yeah.
He's a little bit more in depth with it. But I think they're also leading more into him because right where it cut off, it was him pretty much like trying to investigate, I guess. Going into one of the gay bars.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's where Senwoo ended up getting one of his 3 victims.
Okay. Are there any flashbacks in this?
There is, and that was more towards the end of the first season where you get a little bit into Bum's past and you get to kind of see more of like how he got into like the little stalkery. Like it gives hints to like his personality wasn't always right in the first place. And part of it has to do with being abused by his uncle. And other parts, I guess he was just kind of an outcast in class. And then he meets a girl.
Okay.
And you find out she is being abused by her father, I believe. And she opens up to him, and he starts taking that as, oh, we're in a relationship.
Oh, okay, it goes down.
Yeah. So you can start to see, like, okay, this kid, he wasn't always bright in the head.
Yeah, so flipping through some of these, I guess pages you can call them. Yes, the art is pretty good.
It fits the story and the mood perfectly. Because normally, you know how sometimes mangas or manhwas, depending on what it is and the tone, they can be really bright and colorful, and you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, like, perfect example is Black Clover, how Asta's just always yelling in the anime. at very different types of scenes. So that's never really good. Yeah. So this.
Yeah, and the art's really consistent. You don't get like little random like chibi heads here and there, you know. Yeah, it gets gritty. This is a very gritty. Like if you're not prepared for
let me see
blood.
one of those pens. Let me see one.
So this is not your happy-go-lucky.
No, it's not. And I keep trying to. That's why I keep trying to be like.
Because I remember you were like, "Oh yeah, what the fuck am I reading?"
Yeah, because I was like, what the hell? Like, because you guys said like BL and my...
Well, that's what it seemed like to us at first.
Well, again, the typical thought of BL is more like... It's more romantic.
It's more of a shoujo-esque.
Yeah, but for...
Like, I'm expecting shoujo beat type of shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was anticipating going into this. But then again, like, I started trying to look into the fandom a little bit, and I guess I can kind of see how they would want them in a relationship, but you really shouldn't.
Well, it's like Poon Poon. You know, it's like you kind of root for them at certain, but especially at the end, you do root for them.
Yeah.
Up until he just straight up walks away, and that's when I'm just angry from that point forward.
No,
you know?
Yeah. I get you on that. Like, it's like you wanna, but you really know you shouldn't. And in this case, I think it's a little bit worse than Poon Poon. A lot worse than Poon Poon.
Well, I mean, but with Poon Poon, it's to the point where everything around him is what's depressing him, and to here it's more of a focal point of like, no, this specific person is causing everything. Therefore, you get more intimate moments with the characters. And
it is, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you can get past, like, it does get sexual, and it is pretty, like, in your face, but, like, it's not like, oh, we're trying to make it sexual. It's like, holy shit, this is wrong.
It's appropriate.
It is.
For what the plot's doing.
It fits very nicely in it. And it just ties very nicely with the story. So if you can get past that, or you can just skip past that just a little bit, though there's little scenes in there that make sense for dialogue-wise, and anticipation, I guess, building to anticipation, you're just kind of like, whoa. Just a lot of mind fucking.
Well, that sounds very interesting. I'm always into those kind of manhwas. Like I'm reading DeadTube. That's a
good one.
It's pretty dark, yeah, but that's a good one for what they're doing. You know, it's always about like content wise. Like as long as you get the structure of the story right and dialogue and character development right, it could be really good no matter how messed up and tragic it is for the characters. Yeah. You know?
I feel like most manhwas, though, like, they're not afraid to get, like, gritty. And I think that's kind of why I like them a little bit more. But, like, not in gritty in, like, the typical sense, like, more, like, realistically gritty, like, touching on bullying and stuff like that. Like, I've noticed there's a lot with that, and I'm like, yeah, you don't typically...
Yeah, I mean, manhwas usually, they tend to go certain routes that you don't expect, like, Household Affairs, Miguel knows.
Oh, God.
How quick a turn that happened in there. Jesus, it just kind of pulled a 180 in a sense, as far as like how calm the content was.
Yeah.
You know, the other one that is also on the Lezen app, the boy that does the body well, right?
Yeah, he does the body good.
He does body good. That gets serious, towards the end as well. So it's interesting to see how they have that, going down. And it all fits really nice. So consistency is solid here.
Consistency is definitely solid. I would definitely rate this a 9 out of 10.
All right. I mean, yes, it did win the grand prize this year, for the Lezen Comics Award. So that's pretty good.
I can 100% see why. It's still kind of like trippy though, because it's like, whoa.
It's not something...
It doesn't hold back immediately. Like, it starts you off, like, you're just like, bam. Here it is.
That's great.
So, you just dive in. There's no pulling punches for this one.
Yeah, it's always good when they have a strong start like that.
That's why I said in the prologue, like, he's breaking into this kid's house, he finds a tied up naked chick, and you're just like, well, shit. Where's this going?
Well, right on. Does that pretty much summarize everything you had to say for this manhwa today?
Yeah, I think so. Read it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to read it too. I'm going to check it out.
9 out of 10, would read again.
9 out of 10, would read again.
All right.
Cool.
So remember, this is Killing Stalking,
Brought to you by Lezen Comics.
Brought to you by Lezen Comics. They asked us to review it, and we said yes. Again, it's ranked 14 on the top manhwas that they have on the app.
Is it Lezen or Legion?
I say Lezen, but it's probably...
I bet you it's Legion.
It's Lehzin.
I thought it's Lezhin.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Legion.
Legion, Lezen, whichever it is.
These cool guys.
Cute
These
doggy
cool
doggo.
guys.
I love their logo.
Yeah, it's just the doggo.
It's a doggo.
Doggo comic people. You guys rock.
Yeah, I mean, we've read Mon 1 here before, and this one seems really good. Unfortunately, though, if you are using the iOS version of the app, you cannot read it because of the maturity rating on it. You know how because of the gore.
Yes, there's not just gore. You see, I'm not gonna lie, you see boobies.
But it's kind of weird that the Apple version of this is censored because I have apps to read manga, and it's just like, yeah, no, like go ahead. But you can always read it online through your internet browser, your computer. If you have an Android, it's on there. Just download the app and check it out. I believe it's the prologue and the first 2 chapters are free. And what they do is you just buy each chapter by getting coins, and then you get that in the store. They have a holiday sale right now. So if you have the app ready or you're interested in this, I suggest hopping on that right now to check it out. And any final thoughts on this?
Just read it.
Yeah.
Experience it.
How's the panel structuring? Like, how like certain panels, like the flow of the story per page, per panel.
It's easy to follow. It's not like scattered all over the place. You're not like, oh wait, I read the wrong part. It's flows very nicely. Whoever like worked on this translation wise, the team that worked on this did a really good job.
Right on. Yeah, so again, we met them at AX. They were pretty cool guys, talking to them. And go check it out. And that is all we have for this episode. Thank you for reading it and coming on the show.
Sorry for the crappy summary, but I feel like it's one of those things you gotta experience too, though, so maybe...
Yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. Maybe do a part 2 with my thoughts in there. No offense, Arianna,
No
just...
worries, this is my first time, I'm sorry.
So that's all we have for today, guys. And this episode specifically is probably the last episode of 2017. So it's been a fun year. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about this manhwa or this episode, podcast in general, email us at unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can follow us on social media at unversedpodcast anywhere you go. And as always, we will talk to you guys next time.
Beautiful.